I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. Stop agreeing with yourself. Stop agreeing with yourself.
Hello and welcome to Glass Half Full Reviews, the blah 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 blah. Hello and welcome to Glass. Now that was just saying it wrong again. So no, that one doesn't work. I'll have to try this one again. Hello and welcome to, oh no, my glasses. Classic mistake. Hello and welcome to Glass Half Full Reviews, where it doesn't matter how many times we have to repeat something, we'll get it right probably eventually. Today I'm going to be doing a super fast, super short, and super spoiler-free review of Edge of Tomorrow. So Edge of Tomorrow is kind of already out of the theaters, so it's sort of unfortunate because I can already say I like this movie, but no one's really going to see it in the theater anymore, so what it's going to come down to is I'm going to say, hey, rent this when you get a chance. And if you happen to see that it's still in the theater, try to go see it. Otherwise, whatever, there's nothing I can do about it now. So, what's to do with the movie? It's a very interesting idea. It's sort of like a Groundhog Day meets alien invasion kind of movie. You've probably seen some of the trailers. Tom Cruise basically plays this sort of cowardly military officer who's essentially like a PR guy. And there was a really devastating alien attack on Europe and huge amounts of devastation, millions of lives lost. And somehow there was one day where everything turned around, and it was done by Emily Blunt. And basically, so now Tom Cruise's character has to come in. He says, oh, see, we have a big, initiative to go in. We're going to go attack front lines. But he basically gets kind of manhandled into getting out there himself. Not something he ever really wanted to do. He gets out there, he's not well trained, he dies. But he dies in a very interesting way. And because of the way he dies, he sort of gets stuck in a time loop. And he starts repeating the same day over and over and over again. And it actually works very well because we see a lot of comedy in seeing this kind of dickish guy get killed a lot at first, but then he starts to become competent. He starts to form a relationship with Emily Blunt's character. You see all these like little side characters, especially Bill Paxton, who I really liked in this. And although I don't think the ending was 100% successful, I liked it fine. And in general, the movie was a lot of fun. So that's my really short summary. Now let's get into the 5-point breakdown.
5-point breakdown.
So starting from the top, I like the acting here. Emily Blunt is great as this really badass, kick-ass warrior that doesn't really care at all about what anyone else is doing, and sort of revealing a very interesting backstory that she totally pulls off. She's awesome in this. Tom Cruise, you know what? Love the guy. He's a really talented actor and a really great action star. I just think this is a good vehicle for him. Unfortunately, I think people have been kind of mad out by things like Oblivion, which I didn't care for. And I don't even remember what he did before then, so I think that's sort of the kind of thing that happens. People got a little sick of the same old. Oh, now I remember, Jack Reacher. Yeah, I didn't really care so much for that one either. So it's sort of a shame because I think this movie actually is very interesting. It has some interesting ideas, some interesting depth, and the acting works very well. Bill Paxton, like I said, has a really great secondary role. He's pretty cool. Moving on to number 2, and the story actually works really well. It's not 100%, making sense, because anytime you have to deal with time travel and stuff, there's always going to be some weird, hiccups along the way, and that does happen here. But the truth is, it still works. I still buy into it, and I thought it was paced really well, and it made sense, the progression. Sometimes they would do really long skips where a lot of time has passed. Sometimes they do a really short one where it's right afterwards. And you don't always know, and it sort of keeps you on your toes. It's very interesting the way it goes through it, and it has an ending that sort of makes you wonder exactly what happened, but not in an unsatisfying way. I still thought the ending was pretty good. So let's move on to number 3. So I did like the way this movie looked almost 100%. The aliens were a little generic looking. They had a kind of evil squid looking feel. It wasn't the perfect thing. I liked it, but it wasn't like that interesting. I liked the exoskeleton and mechanized suits that the guys were wearing. That was cool. I liked that. And just the way it was cut together was done really well. Editing, superb. It really increased both comedy, tension, action. Everything worked really well from the, look perspective. So let's move on to number 4. And, sometimes you don't know how you're going to feel as you start watching a movie, but with this one, as it was going through, it's like, oh, wow, I'm already liking this. And it didn't didn't stop at all. I got through the whole movie and I was liking the whole time. So I guess I would have to say that I really liked how this movie felt to me, and I thought it did a good job of, appealing to something. And that moves on to our final point, number 5. And unfortunately, I'm not sure what's going to happen with this. I think it's done pretty decently internationally, but it didn't do nearly the numbers that they would like. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean Tom Cruise or I almost said Tim Cruise, like Tim the Toolman Taylor. It doesn't mean he's going to be washed up as an action star at all, but maybe it will take another big ticket thing like Mission Impossible 46 or something to really get people interested again. And unfortunately, that's too bad because this was a really interesting idea. I like to see cool ideas that are done. Emily Blunt does a great job here. I know obviously her career isn't over either, but I hope this doesn't dissuade studios from sort of putting her into an interesting role, or even other female characters into a more badass role. In a lot of ways, this movie was a lot about her, too, and, I feel like it's a shame that we don't get more of that kind of thing. Now, that's the kind of topic I can get into a lot more later, but for now, I just want to say, as we get into this summation, do I recommend this movie? Yes, I do. It's a really fun movie. It's a cool premise. It's not like it's 100% original, but, what is, I suppose. So when you get a chance to see it, if you can in the theater, try to. But if you can't, certainly see it when it comes out on streaming, DVD, etc. All right? Thanks for stopping by.